What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're gonna talk about Hassan Whiteside in the Miami Heat, a team that we all predicted and all thought was be a lock in the playoffs, coming off a season where they barely missed by one game. They was able to right the ship and get back on track. Right now, they're 7 games above 500. They're beating the team they should beat. They're competing against the team they should compete against. The East is wide open. Obviously, you got Cleveland at the top, but they've been playing so mediocre offensively and defensively that, you feel like you have a shot. Obviously, I want to talk about their so-called franchise players today. And I made a Heat video a couple weeks ago saying that they was a disappointment. Obviously, it's not guaranteed that this team is going to make the playoffs, even though they 7 games above 500. We done seen it with the Sixers. They went on that win streak, then they fell back out of the playoffs. You seen it with the Knicks. They went on a little early win streak, and then they out of the playoffs right now. Obviously, the Sixers got back in there. But you never know who goes on the win streak. You never know when they schedule change. Can they take advantage of the teams they should beat? So, it's not over until game 82 sometimes, just like the Heat found out last year. Sometimes you can be so close. They all in the same area. They all 1 game, 2 games off from each other. So any little 2, 3 game winning streak, it can change the whole East in just just in a matter of 2 weeks. So I want to talk about Gordon Dragic and Hassan Whiteside. I really want to focus on Hassan Whiteside because he's the highest paid player, I believe, on the Miami Heat. He got close to $100 million, and so did Gordon Dragic. Gordon Dragic took a small percentage of a pay cut to keep Dwayne Wade in Miami, and obviously Dwayne Wade ended up leaving anyway as a free agent, but he wanted to stay in Miami. But Dwayne Wade and Pat Riley and Mickey Harrison had different visions, different goals. And Dwayne Wade said, hey, I might just go live my fantasy and my dream and play in Chicago. He was able to do that. Now he's on a title contender and most likely make it to the finals, the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's contributing for a championship team right now, even though they're not playing like it. They will be in the run-ins by the end of the season. But after they lost Dwayne Wade, even when they had Dwayne Wade, they missed the playoffs because Chris Bosh missed the whole season with that blood clot in his heart. Obviously, they didn't make the playoffs because he missed the rest of the half of the season. They was on pace to do it, but they couldn't do it. Dwayne Wade field goal and efficiency went all the way down when he lost Chris Bosh because he can space out the floor, knock down threes, and he makes the game easier because of pick and roll for Dwayne Wade. And they had an unstoppable pick and pop with Chris Bosh going to the three-point line to mid-range to even roll into the rim. But ever since then, they lost Chris Bosh. Obviously, he ended up getting bought out of his contract. They end up signing Gordon Dragic. He has shown to be probably their best player so far. He has signed a nice, luxurious contract, and now they actually starting to pay off a little bit. They had to recollect, get better, and learn how to play with each other because they had a lot of new pieces last year. And after they lost Dwayne Wade, they had to get over that. Now they're back into winning. Now they're back into playing as a team. Now they're back into showing that they're one of the better teams. And obviously, Eric Spoelstra is one of the better coaches. But I wanted to ask my fans this question. Gordon Dragic has played up to his contract to a certain extent. He never played at an all-star level until he was in his last couple years in Phoenix. Obviously, this year he hasn't been able to warrant a guaranteed all-star spot unless you want to give the Heat a player because they're in the playoffs. You might give it to Gordon Dragic because he has been the most consistent, healthy, and best Heat player this season. Obviously, with injuries to Deion Waiters and players like that, he had to step his game up, and now their schedule is a little bit more easier, and they're capitalizing on that, going on a nice little streak for these last 2 months and a half. But Hassan Whiteside was a guy, even when I went to Summer League and I seen him at Summer League a couple years ago, he had his shirt on saying $100 million. He was the biggest breakout of the season a couple years ago. A lot of people say, Hassan Whiteside has improved and got so much better that he might be a top 5 center. So remember, he came out of nowhere. He didn't get that much minutes. He didn't really play that much, but he kept making an impact and giving you valuable minutes when he played. And then Eric was supposed to see the development. He seen how much they need Hassan Whiteside. They seen how rapidly he was evolving and developing. That he kept getting more minutes every week, every month. Next thing you know, he was starting for the Heat. And this is when Chris Bosh still was there healthy. And he became a great defender. One of the Chris Bosh weaknesses was that when he went to Miami, he lost the ability to rebound. He was never a double-digit rebounder when he went to Miami. And they had a guy that they can actually, even though Chris Bosh is a good defender to a certain extent, they added that rim protector, that size, that body, that length, that width. And a guy that can crash the boards. He's still one of the best rebounders in the game today, Hassan Whiteside. And his rim protection has fell off since he first got into the league. Obviously, he got more fouls then because he was just trying to block and contest everything, and he was undisciplined. But he showed continued improvement to the point where Eric Spoelstra gave him all those minutes and even gave him the starting spot. And then I remember reading articles that was saying that, Hassan Whiteside is playing so amazing, so great that, he's a top 5 center this year and he just started playing meaningful minutes. That's how quick he was accelerating. That's how quick he was developing. That's how much he wanted it. Remember, he got kicked out. He got drafted and got kicked out of the league. He signed as a free agent that was actually out of the out of the NBA for a couple years. The Heat took a gamble. They tried to sign Greg Oden. They tried to get Eddie Curry. They tried to shore up that center position. They took a gamble on Hassan Whiteside. It paid off right now. For the last 3 seasons, it definitely has paid off because he's been a quality player and a quality center since he's been in Miami for these last 4 years. Obviously, this is the 4th year and it's not over, but he's not having the same impact as he was a couple years ago. Maybe because the defense got used to him, maybe because of the scouting, maybe because he never was a great offensive player, even though he showed signs of being a good pick and pop player, pick and dive player, catch alley oops, to get a lot of putbacks, and get a lot of easy buckets around the rim. Obviously, he averages 2.8 offensive rebounds a game and averaged 11.8 rebounds a game, even though he's been injured this year for a couple games, a lot of games actually. But he has, like I said, with that $100 million price tag, you look at it and you think about it like, even though he improved, even though he shows signs of improvement, even though he shows signs that he can be a starting caliber all-star center, this is years ago he showed those signs. They locked him up in 16 to that almost near $100 million contract. And now I'm starting to think and wonder after these last 2 seasons, even though he had a career season last year, but they didn't make the playoffs, and he started getting better during the other half of the season besides in the beginning of the season. I'm starting to think, like, was Hassan Whiteside really worth that $100 million contract? Because he is shooting good from the field. His free throw percentage has improved, even though he's taking less free throws. His rebounds are down. Obviously, he went back, to 14.7 points a game, but he has been injured a lot this season. But he went back into a role player. I don't look at Hassan Whiteside the same way I did when he first got in Miami and kept improving. He seems like a guy that they had hope that he was going to be a big franchise piece, a big cornerstone. The way he's been improving, he's going to be one of the top 3, maybe the best center in the league, especially defensively. And the offense was slowly coming every single month. And you seen the development. You seen how hard he worked. You seen how much he wanted it. And then after that, he had that career season last year, but he only did it at the other half of the year, not the whole year. And now I'm looking like Hassan Whiteside, $100 million for the next 3 years because he's playing this season already. Um, that's a lot of money for Hassan Whiteside, the way he's been playing. His defense is not as good as it used to be. His shot blocking is down. His scoring is down, even though he missed a lot of games. But at the same time, when you get injured and you already having a down year, the injuries just hit your morale. Because you already struggling offensively, which he is. It don't show you with the field goal percentage because he take all the shots in the paint, which are easy shots. And he gets the putbacks and the dunks and the alley oops that helps build his field goal percentage up too. But he hasn't necessarily played well, and now he seems more like a third option at best, probably fourth, because his offensive game has gotten better since he first got to Miami. But I still don't want him to get the ball. I don't want him to be a post player because he don't post up good enough still. He's improved but hasn't really became dominant as a post up player. He's still not a knockdown shooter. He can't shoot the three. Obviously, he's a brick wall in the pick and roll, and it helps Goran Dragic a whole lot getting that extra space to get to the paint, get to the mid range, get to the three. And Goran Dragic has always been a basketball IQ player. He takes smart shots. He takes shots he know he can make, and he's creative when he gets to the paint with his finishes. And he always been one of the more efficient point guards in the league when it comes to scoring, shooting good from decent to good from the three, and shooting high efficiency from the field. He was doing that even when he was in Phoenix. But Goran Dragic contract is going to end before Hassan Whiteside because obviously they signed it in 2 different years. And at the end of the day, Goran Dragic has become their best player. Even though he's shooting 43% from the field, 35 from three this season, he's been playing better than Hassan Whiteside, and that's not what we was looking forward to. Like I said, with the development of Hassan Whiteside, we didn't think that he would get passed up by Goran Dragic, who is getting older, not younger. And Hassan Whiteside is obviously still younger than Goran Dragic because he's already in his 30s and he's going to turn 32. And Hassan Whiteside is only 28 and he's going to turn 29. Hassan Whiteside has not even put up he's not an all-star this season. He's not a franchise player at this point, and I don't think he will be because he's only getting older. Like I said, in June this year, he'll be 29. Next year, he'll be 30. Most players, besides somebody like Kyle Lowry, don't really improve that much at the ending of their careers because now he's going to the second half of his career. And I feel like if you're going to give a guy $100 million, he got to be giving you large contributions. And I don't feel like Hassan Whiteside has did that and warrant that contract now that we look back at it because he showed potentials of being a franchise cornerstone. In these last couple of years, he showed that, he's good. He's one of the better players, but he's not a dominant player. He's not a great offensive player. He's not a takeover player. He's not even an all-star player. He hasn't even made it to the all-star team since he's been in Miami. Even when a season like now, they might not even pick an all-star from Miami. Then that shows you that, maybe they wanted to pay him because they couldn't find nothing better. Like I said, they tried to use Eddie Curry. They tried to use Greg Oden. They just wanted somebody to fill that center position, and he's doing it better than both of them by a long shot. Maybe that's why they wanted to do it, because he showed promise on the offensive end while still being a defensive anchor when he first got there and improved at that. And to say, hey, we got to give $100 million to somebody, and they ended up giving it to Hassan Whiteside, and now it looks kind of bad. Obviously, it can change. He can get more healthier. He can get a lot better. He can get back on top of his game as he get more healthier and more acclimated with his teammates this year, and maybe he can have a better second half of the season. Maybe he can even end up on the All-NBA third or second team if he can really improve for the rest of the season, because his teammates are the same basically last year. The only difference is, they don't utilize him as much as they did when he first came in the league, and his defense is actually down compared to then. But I think that wasn't a good investment. Obviously, I look crazy back then looking at it, but right now, thinking about it and looking back at that contract, if they ever want a big free agent, they already paying Goran Dragic close to $100 million. They locked in Hassan Whiteside at 96, 97 million. And now, they've been playing all these other players a couple million, and now it's going to be hard for them to get out of this unless they can package a lot of players together and try to get another superstar, which they haven't been able to do. But Pat Riley shows that he can still do it because he's still been doing it. You got Chris Bosh to come. You got Wade. You got LeBron James to come. He was able to get Hassan Whiteside. Maybe Pat Riley got something up his sleeves. He got a lot of players on decent contracts. Some players are overpaid. So I don't know what's the direction of the Heat. If they're going to try to contend for a championship, if they're going to just try to make the playoffs until they can make a move. I don't know. But the Heat has turned it around from the beginning of the season. In the middle of the season right now, they're just where they want to be. And it looks like they're going to make the playoffs, but we never know. An injury away, a trade away, somebody get better in the East from a trade or a free agent signing. and we don't really know what's going to happen, but it's good to speculate. Let me know what you guys think. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. And let me know what you guys think about Hassan Whiteside and the Miami Heat. Is he a franchise player? Did he deserve the contract? Did he deserve to be their highest paid player? Or do you think he was just doing what he had to do to get the contract, and after that he just got comfortable? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm gone.